What up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Welcome to my full pre-draft breakdown show. I think I fixed the Wi-Fi, by the way, guys. I mean, it's smooth sailings right now. It's smooth sailings right now. I might have just jinxed it, though. We might have just jinxed the fuck out of it. I might have just jinxed the fuck out of it. So hopefully not. Hopefully not. But appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on new content. Of course. Don't forget to do that. All right. Oh, all right. So today, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the wants and needs. All right. We're recapping some things I've already repeated and said. But again, don't get discouraged or whatever. Like, we're going to break down prospects. We're going to break down picks. We're going to break down trade scenarios, stuff like that. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be the case too, guys. I think it's just going to be like if the whole thing comes out that the whole Atlanta Falcons thing. Now, again, we all have heard about it. Guys, if you're just tuning in, thank you for joining. Make sure you pound the like button and hit that subscribe button. That's all I ask. If you don't know, now you know. The Atlanta Falcons have got caught tampering with the Kirk Cousins ordeal. They got caught. Which means they could lose a first-round pick. Now, again, nothing's guaranteed right now. It's all speculation at this point. It's all hypotheticals at this point. If it truly does happen, then Atlanta will lose their number whatever pick. And the 8th pick, which means that then in the first round, there would only be 31 picks. Okay? Which means technically the Carolina Panthers would be picking at 32. Instead of 33. So I don't know if that's going to happen. At this point, it's all speculation. I'm not throwing it out in that universe that it's truly going to happen. I'm going to wait till Adam Schefter, someone comes out and actually reports it, so I know it's absolutely true, and it absolutely comes out. Now, here's the thing, guys. We've got a lot to talk about today, so we're going to get right into it. Let me see. I will get into, if you have a couple questions, we can go ahead and get through those real quick. But other than that, we're going to dive into this bad boy. Clay, Brandon Ayuk tweeted that he's probably getting traded during the draft. You think we traded it for him at 39? I wouldn't say it's out the cards, Chris Mack. Just not, I can't guarantee it's true. But I wouldn't say it's not out the cards. I wouldn't say it's not possible. Or I'm not going to say it's impossible. But I think we shall see. But again, I'm not too sure. At this point, I'm kind of just looking at the draft. I'm just looking at the draft now at this point. I'm not worried about the Ayuk trade. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm worried about what we need to do in this draft right now. So, Chris Mack, that's all hypotheticals. Would I be mad if they did it? Not really, but I'm not going to say it's impossible. I think at this point, guys, Xavier Legette's probably going to be the 33rd pick. Can we all just agree with that at this point? JP, I kind of agree with you on that, and I know why you're saying that. So I kind of agree with you on that. What up, Matt Chad? I appreciate you joining, man. This means one more first-round talent falling to us. Could be. First-round talent could fall to us now, technically. Amen, JP. Yep. Hey, the Fins lost their first round by tampering. Randall, I don't know. Did they lose their first round? I thought they lost like a 5th round for tampering. Did they lose a first round? Was that last year that the Miami lost first round for tampering? Was it last year? I thought it was a 5th, but okay. Maybe it was. Can't keep up with all that tampering shit because my team doesn't do that. We just lose. If JPJ falls to 33, do you think the Panthers pull the trigger? I wouldn't say it's out the cards, but at this point, I think it's XL at this point. Trying to tamper with Brady. Okay, makes sense. I believe XL is our wide receiver pick. I'm cool with that. Yeah, me too. Miami and KC, I think. Okay, nice. I mean, it is what it is. Guys, by the way, thank you for so much showing your support with the whole mock draft thing that the FPFO came out with over on Twitter. So I appreciate y'all guys voting. I got cooked in the second round, but it's all right. It's all right. We bounced back. We'll bounce back stronger than ever. Of course. So that was a lot of fun. So shout out to those guys for doing it. I'm also working on some weekly guests, man. I've been all over on Twitter trying to get some content creators to be a weekly guest on this show. I want to get some more guys out here. I got a Saints guy I'm working on. Of course, the roundtable, the NFC South roundtable's coming in July. So shout out to Roundtable Sports for bringing me on there. So guys, don't forget about that. I'm probably going to work on someone from C3. I'm working on Two Fans in the Stands, Prime Panthers podcast, and some of those guys to come on and be our guest. And shoot the shit, man. So shout out to those guys, and to all their awesome channels, man. We also got to get Jay Issue back on too. So shout out to Jay Issue. Yeah, XL said his talks with the Panthers, they want to use him. Yeah, I mean they said they're gonna use him like Mike Evans. I mean, there's a full video out. Yep. Yep. Chris, you already took the words out of my mouth. Jen, what's up, Jen? How are you? Well, happy Monday. All right, let's get into some prospecting. So we're going to start off in the running back group first. All right, let me pull it up. When I pull up at the after party, little rod wave. All right, let's get over here. Let's pull up the running back group. All right. Now, I'm going to go through the running back group first. Okay. Trying to pull it up here. Give me a second. All right, perfect. There is something brewing. All right. Let's start with the running back group first. All right. Let's start with Mr. Start with Blake Corum. All right. Blake Corum, a guy I think we can get in, but I'm gonna say he's a second or third round pick, projected second or third round pick. I like Blake Corum a lot. I think that this guy's physical run and quickness, strength, and elusiveness is a good fill for this team. I mean, 5'8", 205 is that means you're strong as a fucking ox. All right. I mean, he had a great season there. National champs, 4.8 yards per carry, 1,245 yards, 27 touchdowns. He also caught 16 passes for 117 yards and a touchdown. Tough guy to tackle. That 5'8" is tough to tackle, and especially when he's low and gravity to the ground, he can knock dudes down. All right. I think he could be, like I said, I think he's predicted to be around the second or third round draft. Had a decent 40 time 4.53, but that makes sense to me when you're 5'8", 205. I mean, you're going to just be mauling dudes over. All right. Wait. So Jen, you had a question. Because you missed the Discord thing on Friday. So you had a question for my Discord, but missed the show in time. If you had two players that you would be pissed about the Panthers choosing, who would it be? I think now with all the reports that have come out for me, I'm not very high on Adonia Mitchell anymore, guys. I'm just not. I wouldn't be too happy about it. With his diabetes issue, his on and off the field issues, not willing to put the work in kind of ordeal, I'd be pretty pissed if we took him. I think another person that I'd be pretty pissed if we took, Jonathan Brooks. I think that's another guy, running back. He tore his ACL. I'm not too. Do I think he's a bad running back? Absolutely not. Is he a bad prospect? No, I don't think he's a bad prospect. But do I think he's worth a second, or third round pick, as they've got him projected mainly? No, I don't. I don't think he's worth it. Another one to your question, Jen, probably. Like if you said, if I'm having to pick two, I mean, in the first two picks, I don't know. I'm not big on Mike St. Strill. I know JP, who's in the chat, is a big Michigan fan. I'm high on him, but I'm not high on him as others are. I think a lot of people got him projected second, third round. I really see the guy as a fourth, fifth round pick. Now, if we took him fourth, fifth round pick, I'm fine with that. But I think when it comes to that question, though, Jen, it's very you're saying like what two players? I mean, there's multiple players I'd be a bit pissed off that we take, but I also think it's about where we take those players to. For me, it's especially in the draft. So, but let's get back to my running back prospects here. So Blake Corum, broke him down. Let's get back to business here. Trey Benson, okay, Florida State boy, big back, strong downhill runner, got great strength. He ends his rushes very well. I like that about him. Same combine numbers as Breece Hall. Average 5.8 yards per carry, 905 yards, 14 touchdowns. He also had 20 catches for 227 yards and a touchdown. So he had a great 40 time speed for someone who's 6 foot, 216, ran a 4.39. I haven't projected around the second or third round. All right. Now, again, if I'm taking these guys, like if I'm taking Trey Benson or Blake Corum, I'm not taking any of these guys that I'm mentioning in the running back room. At least Blake Corum or Trey Benson, I'm not taking them till the third round. I'm not taking them in the second round. They're projected second or third round, but I'm not taking them in the second. I would take Blake Corum or Trey Benson in the third round. Another guy, Ray Davis. This guy's a third or fourth round pick for me. I think he's a solid option for the Panthers. I think he would fit the scheme well. 5'8", 211, transferred from Vanderbilt, had a great season for the Wildcats in 2023. He's a physical back who ran over a lot of SEC defenders. My Gamecocks are one of them. Averaged 5.7 yards per carry, over 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns. He caught 33 receptions, 323 yards, and 7 scores in the passing game. He caught 7 passing touchdowns. So, again, I think he's a dual threat running back. I do see a lot of power in him. He doesn't get a lot of the workhorse. All right. He's more of a, some people say he's elusive, but I've seen the guy run over dudes plenty of times. So definitely could be a workhorse guy. Yeah, we're gonna listen. I got it. Listen, this is just the start of the list, guys. I see y'all are in here saying Mickey in the second round's a reach. Yeah, Mikey. Yeah, It would take Willie Shipley. I'm pissed. If we take Will Shipley, I'd be pissed. And I want Shipley. I don't want Shipley either. Yeah, I'm not a big Shipley fan. Correct. I want Braylon Allen, Clay. We're gonna get to Braylon Allen. Don't worry, guys. This is no particular order. Okay, this is no particular order. I'm just breaking down each and one of these guys. Okay, Marshawn Lloyd, former Gamecock, transferred to USC. Very compact, physical downhill runner with great strength. Can run through tackles, pound the defense between the tackles like this guy. This guy averaged 7.1 yards per carry in 2023. Could you imagine having a running back who averages 7.1 yards per carry? 820 yards, 9 touchdowns. He also notched over 13 receptions for 232 yards. Again, I think this guy's a third, fourth round kind of guy. Again, I think he's a power. Same thing kind of with Ray Davis. He's a dual threat guy, but there is a lot of, he can do some workhorse like things. Like he's not just a scat back. He can do what the workhorse running back that we're looking for. All right, and I'm mentioning guys that I think can fit this scheme. Jalen Wright, another one, big running back, put together, workhorse running back, but I see a dual threat. I can see him being a scat back. He does well in both things. Shows great quickness, obviously a 4.38 40 with a 5'10", 210 weight. Average 7.4 yards per carry, over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns on 137 carries, and he caught 22 passes for 141 yards as well. I think he's a third or fourth round pick as well. JP, no diddy on that one, JP. Clay, don't our current running backs average 5 yards? I don't know. Miles Sanders ain't averaging no 5.5 yards per carry. I can tell you that. I don't know who told you that. All right. Next running back. I got that. This list continues now. The list continues. Okay, for these running backs. All right. Where's my guy at? No, I was already at Ray Davis. All right, let's go to Mr. Did I miss something here? Oh, I did skip over these guys. Son of a bitch. All right, that's fine. No big deal. Braylon Allen. Okay, big workhorse running back. He had over 984 yards, 5.4 yards per carry. He had 12 rushing touchdowns, 28 receptions, 431 yards. I mean, again, this is a guy who's a big workhorse running back as well. Okay. I don't think he's getting a lot of attention as others into this draft. I think he's definitely worth keeping an eye on. I project this guy to be I think he could be a third round pick, but I think that he's probably going to be a 4th to 5th round kind of guy. All right. I think he's got great mid-round value for him if you get hit this guy around the 4th or 5th round. So big workhorse guy. He showed off his impressive skills during the combines and his pro days. He's been working out with, you've seen it out there. He's been working out with Derrick Henry. I'm very, very high on Braylon Allen. I've actually got him second on my draft board as running backs wise, but just because I think he's a great fit here. Yeah, I got Isaiah Davis. I'm about to talk to him about Mr. Davis here shortly. Another one, kind of the same guy, Audric Esteem. I mean, him and Braylon Allen remind me of the same back. All right. Again, Audric Esteem, another big running back. He's a physical runner. I think he'd be a great asset for the Panthers. I mean, he averaged 6.4 yards per carry, over 1,300 yards, right? 18 rushing touchdowns. He also, as you can see, had 17 receptions for 142 yards. Okay. I think this guy would be a great addition. I think his value, again, I think it's the same. Him and Braylon Allen, to me, if you had Audric Esteem ahead of Braylon Allen on your list, I wouldn't be mad about it, because I can see the great value in this guy too, just as much as I can in Braylon Allen. You could have them, A, B, however you want it. I like Audric Esteem. I've actually got him third on my draft board. I like Braylon Allen a little bit better. I think he gets better. I think Braylon Allen is better through the tackles. He's better at finding the hole. Audric Esteem sometimes doesn't seem patient enough when he hits the hole. Trying to find the hole, I should say, not hit the hole. So I kind of like the patience a little bit more Braylon Allen than I do from Audric Esteem. I wouldn't be disappointed if we don't pick Braylon Allen, but I would be disappointed though in life if you really get what you want. Oh, I got you. No, I get you. He is super young. He is young. Um, he is young for sure. All right, let's move on. Who's another guy I haven't talked about? Oh, Isaac Gorindo. Okay, another guy that a lot of people aren't talking about. Again, this guy basically had the best combine out of any of the running backs too. Okay, 6 foot, 221, back, not getting a lot of attention heading into the draft though, which is kind of weird to me. I think he's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Again, he showed off his impressive speed at 4.33 out of that backfield. And he averaged 6.1 yards per carry at Louisville. 11 touchdowns, as you can see, 22 receptions, 234 yards. Again, I think this guy's a great mid-round value pick for the Panthers. I also see him as a sleeper pick. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this guy. Honestly, I really do. I have a feeling this guy could be like a Jahmyr Gibbs type running back just because of his speed and his versatility. Austrian NFL, what's up? What's up? All right, let's go through. Let's find my next. I gotta find my next guy here. Where is he at? Mm-hmm. Oh, here it is. All right, hold on. Sorry about this. It just took me a hot minute to find what I was looking for. Okay, thank you. All right. Who's my next guy on here I want to speak about? There's my boy. Biggest sleeper, I think, in this draft. And honestly, I really do believe that. And either I eat my words or I don't. Isaiah Davis, the South Dakota State boy. 6 foot, 218 pounds. His draft stock's completely gone up. This guy went from a 7th round pick to now I think they've got him projected to a 5th round pick. So he's jumped up 2 rounds. And I mean, the numbers don't lie on this guy. Okay. I know he played at a smaller school. The Jackrabbits, South Dakota State, they aren't the biggest conference, right? Yeah, we were just talking about him. I would say probably trading back from 39 is more realistic. I think more useful would be 33, but again, I think it depends now, since now that this whole thing has came out, Austrian, that Atlanta got caught tampering. I mean, it might be more useful. It might, now we might be able to get a first round talent at technically we would be at 32. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting how that pans out. So to your question, sorry, I got off topic here a little bit, guys. I'm just trying to get to your questions as well. I won't be surprised because again, I think there's at least 4 to 5 potential trades out there with teams that could make a trade with us, but again, it all depends. Yeah, they are hard workers. That is for sure. So that's another thing with Isaiah Davis. You're getting a hard worker. But this guy, again, big power back, powerful workhorse, could be a great addition. Again, I see him being a potential. Even though they've got him projected at 5th round, I mean, most of my mock drafts, I've seen him fall at the 6th round and 7th. So, but great addition to our backfield. Again, he averaged 6.7 yards per carry and put over 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns, as you can see up there, and carried. And then he also had basically 200 yards and 23 receptions. So I think he's definitely probably a backup coming in, and then can grow from there, right? I think he can grow from there. Another one I like just because of the fact that he played with Bryce is Chase McMillan, 5'10", 221. Dual threat kind of guy. He's a physical runner, could be a great asset. 4.9 yards per carry, 890 yards, 8 touchdowns, as you can see there. Also 15 catches, 137 yards. Brings a familiar face back to Bryce. Has the potential to be a rotational back, I think, right now. 4.5 speed. I thought he was faster than that, but I think this guy's projected 4th to 6th round, probably more closer to the 6th round, in my opinion. They lose Austrian. They could lose a 1st round pick. They could lose their 1st round pick and more. But there's nothing been confirmed yet because of the tampering with Kirk Cousins. I could see moving off 39, still getting a dude for this team, possibly getting a late 2nd and late 3rd. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to me how this whole thing pans out now with Atlanta, and of course, if there's anybody else that got tampering, if someone else comes out and gets tampering, it can get very sticky real quick. You know what I mean? Very sticky. Last but not least, well, Stacy, I think that's kind of how it becomes. Instead of 33, we now become, if Miami loses that pick, or if Atlanta loses that 1st round pick, it's kind of like we move from 33 to 32 and 39 to 38, if I'm not mistaken, right? I mean, that's how I would assume it. I don't know if that's correct. It all depends on this whole Atlanta thing. 32 people watching on YouTube, 13 people watching on Twitter. Make sure you pound that like button, guys. I greatly appreciate it. We're on the road to 50 likes. So make sure you pound that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right. And if you're watching on Twitter, yeah, come on over to the YouTube channel. Come join the Discord. Come and join a great family of the Ropp Star gang over on the Discord. It's a great way to communicate with us. All right, here we go. So Rasheen Ali out of Marshall. Okay, another guy I like. Again, these are also some of these guys. Again, I'm giving you my projections of where we could possibly pick these guys up at. Okay, now I'm not saying the exact pick. I know, but again, I'm saying that this is where what rounds we could possibly get him in, 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. I'm not going to give you the exact you know number because I don't, I'm not too sure. Again, because everybody's projections are different. Again, 4.4 40 speed, 5'11", 206. I like this guy as well. Tough runner who could put up some impressive numbers in 2023. Ollie average around 5 yards per carry, 1,100 yards, 15 touchdowns. Well, also caught 28 passes, 213 yards, and another score. So had a great showing at the Senior Bowl, which helped his draft stock. I see him, this guy, between the 5th and 7th round. Again, he's projected 6th over on NFL Draft Buzz, so I was close enough. Let's get into the juicy position that everybody wants to talk about. Now, these are all prospects I think that we could target. I'll give you my projection of which round we can take, which pick we can get them at, okay? Especially with the wide receiver position, okay? First up, all right, let's talk about Xavier Worthy. All right, I want to get him out the way first just because of the fact that this guy is lightning fucking fast. 4.2 140, very explosive, dangerous with the ball in his hands. He had an impressive a 4.2 140, man. I mean, that's very impressive, right? Very, very impressive. Let's see what else we got here. How are we doing today, by the way, with the Wi-Fi? Are we looking a lot better today? A lot more smooth? Because I went out there and fixed every damn thing I knew how to fix on this in my house, at least from not calling someone to do it. You know what? I'm going to fix this. I'm going to make this bigger. Cock diesel. Pause. Pause. Oh man. All right, so Xavier Worthy. Let's start with him. Lightning fast with a 4.2 140. Again, explosive, dangerous with the ball in his hands. Has an impressive 75 receptions. As you can see, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns in 2023. And some sources say he could go in the first round of the 2024 NFL Draft. I don't see it. I think we could get this guy either at 33 or 39. Maybe 39 might be a little bit more of a reach, but I definitely think we could get this guy at 33 for sure. Now, again, some people might have him projected to go first round. I wouldn't surprise me if a team like Kansas City goes out there and goes and get him. Again, maybe the Buffalo Bills want to go that route too. Okay. We got some guys in front of us that are definitely looking to wide receivers. Okay. You got the Bills who just lost Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. You got Kansas City who definitely needs a wide receiver because Rasheem Rice doesn't seem in a good shape now, is he? So this guy's the only downside I would say to this guy. The only downside I would say to this guy is he's not the biggest guy, right? I think he's more than but he what he does is he makes up for it with his speed and playmaking ability. So, his size does worry me a little bit, but again, his hands do bother me. There's a lot of drops on his tape. Unfortunately, I did see a lot about that. Marcos Cash, appreciate you putting that in there. Guys, if you want to join the Discord, there it is. Feel free to join. There's a lot going on in there. We're always chatting it up, having a good time. But of course, guys, we're on the road to 10K subscribers, so make sure you like and subscribe. Merch is on the way. Dude, I'm working on stuff in the background. There's so much stuff going on. Don't you worry. And then another thing is I'm going to do a giveaway here soon after the draft. I'm going to do a nice giveaway for everyone's support so far this off season. So we're going to do a nice giveaway coming up. And there's going to be a lot more giveaways this coming season too. I'm going to try to get a get together, more guests, more content creators, a lot. working in the background of the Ropp Star Report that you guys don't know about. So make sure you tune in. Become a member today because memberships are going to get you a lot more stuff, especially as I continue to build this brand in the background. So make sure you pound that like button. All right. I like Mitchell. You see away falls. Do I see a way that he falls? For sure. But am I a fan of him? No. But he was the next guy I wanted to talk about anyways. The problem listen, I'll say this about him. Okay. Adonai Mitchell, 6'2", 205, right? Got the great size, great length, 4.344 speed. Okay. I will say he's got great skill set for the pro game, a lot of upside, but he's got to get stronger and he's got to work on his quickness and change of direction. When I mean quickness, I'm talking about his footwork. I'm talking about his change of direction, his hips movements. All right. There's also some concerns about his character. I've been telling you that there is a lot of on the field and off the field issues with this guy. Dropping the ball is also an issue with him, just like Worthy. He's also got medical history. He has diabetes. So teams are worried about how he manages himself and his health. So can we get this guy? Sure. But there's issues, right? And everybody's got their issues. I get it. But I'm not sitting here saying this guy's a bad person. I'm just saying that it might not be a good fit for us here in Carolina. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. I had to leave my dogs outside because they were getting way too rowdy. Let's see if that's better. Now I need to move that a little bit higher. It won't let me move it higher. Best fit is Leggett. I think the Panthers draft him a lot of meetings. Yeah, I think he's probably the best fit too, Austrian. We'll talk more about him here shortly. What kind of dog is that? She is a lab and mastiff mix. My other two are I have a black lab and a hound. The hound's mixed though. He's mixed with something. We're not sure what he's mixed with. Not the smartest cat. Yeah, I'll be on for a little bit. All right. Is that too much? I'm trying to edit this layout. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. Trying to fix this real quick. Let's try that. A little bit more. Sorry, guys. I just want this to be perfect. It's still too much. Let's go about right there. Is that better? See that? Well, fuck it. Okay, whatever. All right, Donnie and Mitchell, though. Let's move on. Let's move forward. Of course, we got to talk about Mr. Leggett. Why is he the perfect fit? Why is Mr. Leggett the perfect fit? Now, on this draft board, they've got him NFL Draft Buzz moved him all the way back to 13. He was at number 6 or 7 on their list. Xavier Legette, okay? Why does he fit here? I think a lot of people are wondering that. Why does he fit? What should the Panthers do? You why should they go after this guy? Well, I mean, number one, I think he fits because I think he's an interesting pick. Okay. Um, and his breakout senior season caught a lot of attention for the scouts and analysts alike out there. And I think the thing is the Panthers needed an explosive player at the wide receiver position. And they hold okay. And Legette, who broke out, is primarily being projected a late first round or early second round. Now, again, he might go first round. There's a lot of people that are looking into him. Okay. He visited the Panthers about 4 times. And during the draft process, he spoke in Greenville, where he was honored at the South Carolina Hall of Fame, College Player of the Year as well. Leggett was also complimented, was complimentary of the Panthers as an organization. He said that his top 30 visit with them was a success. Now, Legette was the one thing I will say about in South Carolina history. He was the only 6th player in South Carolina history to reach 1,000 receiving yards in the season. He averaged 104.6 receiving yards per game, 2nd in the SEC, 8th in nationally. Okay, he had the one thing I do know is he had 6 plus 100 yards receiving games. He even had a 217-yard game against Jacksonville State. I know that's Jacksonville State, but again, he also had 189 yards and 2 touchdowns against Mississippi State, and then he had 178 yards against UNC. Now, again, some of you don't know, Xavier Legette before he went to South Carolina was a quarterback in high school before he transitioned over to the wide receiver position. Just some of you that don't know that. The thing is about him, though, is that the reason why I like him is that because of his size, his speed, his athleticism, and he really stepped up his game back in 2023, right? And if you go look at his statistics, I mean, you're looking at his statistics. He had 70 receptions, over 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's a bit raw. I'll say that. He's a bit raw, all right? And just needs some development, some good coaching, a lot of potential, quality NFL starter. Look for him to possibly go to the late first round or early second of the draft, okay? Where's my boy at? Where's my boy? Keon Coleman, another one. Guy I like very high on too. 6'3", 213-pound receiver, excellent ball skills, had over 50 catches, 658 yards, 11 touchdowns in 2023. He's got the quickness, athleticism to make some big plays. However, he's not the fastest guy. I will say that. But if you go watch his gauntlet drill at the combine, that changes a lot. Okay. His 40 time wasn't the best, but if you go watch his gauntlet drill, he got up almost to 21 miles per hour. Okay. And ran the straightest of the straight, right? The gauntlet drill is about running straight and being able to catch those passes. Okay. Right. He may struggle to create separation. That is one downside of him to defenders in the NFL, but he could be a solid number 2 receiver at the pro level. All right. Again, I think he's got the potential to be number 1. He's just going to have to work again on his separation issues. All right. Next up, we got Ladd McConkey. Where's he at? Where's Ladd? on their board. Okay, Ladd's number 5 on their board. Okay. Um, not last, but last on this top 5 list. Ladd from Georgia, not the biggest nor the fastest receiver. He's a big gritty player who's came up with some clutch plays for the Bulldogs. He played 29 catches for had 29 catches for 456 yards, 2 touchdowns in 2023. He's a quick receiver, phenomenal after the catch, I would say about him. However, the problem is for me with him is that he's got some durability issues. Okay. I think he's probably best suited as a slot receiver, even though he played a lot of outside. I think he's better in the slot. That's just me personally. Um, that's the only thing I would have to say about him is his durability, and I think he's just a better fit in the slot. All right. Um, Another guy I'm very high on as well. Ricky Parasol. Okay. Ricky Parasol out of Florida. Okay. Standing 6 foot tall. Weighs at 100. And I think he weighs bigger than that. I think he's like 193, something like that. I saw him where he was like 190 something the other day. This guy's got some serious speed, man. He clocks in at a 40-yard dash, puts up some impressive numbers last season, racked up over 65 receptions, as you can see, 965 yards, 4 touchdowns. Great route runner. That's what he excels at, is the route running. Okay. Quickness, hip movement, a beast after the catch. Keep an eye on him, especially as a potential slot receiver. I think I could see him being an next guy, but again, I could also see him being like him and Ladd to me are almost the same, except Ladd's a little bit faster. But I would say Ricky's a little bit more durable. Let's move on. Troy Franklin. Okay. Another guy. 6'1", 176 with lightning fast speed, matches Parasol's 4.41 40-yard dash time. Franklin was a reliable target for his quarterback. He hauled in 81 passes, as you can see, for over 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. He's got height, speed, explosiveness, although he's on the skinny side. Still could be a deep threat. Again, this guy reminds me of a Robbie Anderson mold. Okay. Again, I think he has more potential than Robbie Anderson had coming out of college. But the thing is this guy played in a conference where they don't play defense. All right. They just don't in that conference. Okay. And I think there's a lot of potential here for him to be able to burn defenses downfield. I could see him going in the first round, but I think he's projected second round right now. It says second round, top 10. Okay. I've even seen where the Buffalo Bills could take a chance on him. I've heard that could be the case. Maybe Kansas City does. I don't know. Would I be mad if Carolina takes him? No, but not at 33. Yeah, I like Parasol as well. All right, let's move on to the next cat on this list. We got a lot of wide receivers to talk about. Because again, all these guys we're going to be able to get in the late, even if we don't get them. Again, Devontae Walker, this is a guy is a 3rd round pick automatically. I know that for a fact. Yep, projected 3rd round. 6'1", 197, 436, lightning fast. Rocky start with a suspension, bounce back, made some big plays for the Tar Heels this season. Snagged 41 catches. He had 699 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaged 7 yards per catch, 17 yards per catch. So he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the playmaking ability. He has some issues with drops, though. That's his biggest issues is drops, which could be definitely a concern for a team in the NFL scouting this guy. Let's keep rolling here. Brandon Rice out of USC. We've visited with this guy. He had some good things to say. 6'2", 208, has the bloodline of the legendary Jerry Rice, the GOAT in the wide receiver. He's got good size, solid speed, 4.5 40. Stepped up big time last season, hauling in 45 receptions for 791 yards, 12 touchdowns, a reliable target for his quarterback. Using his size, polished route running to make some tough catches. Plus, he's got the NFL blood running through his veins as the son of the legendary Jerry Rice. So, uh, I like him, of course. Now another guy, Jacob Cowing. Okay, so now we're kind of getting into the nitty gritty here. These are my kind of like my sleepers here. Okay. Um, Again, 5'8", 4'3", 40, 165, small, but got the speed to burn. Okay, he's been a consistent producer for the Wildcats. Racked up 90 catches for 108 or 848 yards, 13 touchdowns last season. Keep an eye on him as a potential slot receiver who can make defenders miss in space. I like him a lot. Of course, let's move on over to Malachi Corley. Another guy I like. Where is he at? I guess he moved up on this draft board. I think he's a little bit slept on, but I think projected third round. Well, they've got him late second. I still think he's a third round pick. He's a bit thicker. Pause. 5'11", 215 pounds. But he's put up some impressive numbers. Mr. Yak King, that's what they call him, yards after the catch king. 79 receptions, 984 yards, 11 touchdowns last season. Now, despite his lack of height, I think Corley has shown that he's a reliable target with strong hands, earned himself that invitation to the Senior Bowl. So I like him a lot, especially if we're going to target him in the third round. All right. Next up is Jermaine Burton. I think we got to target this guy, third, fourth round pick. I think he's projected third round. I'm okay with Jermaine Burton. Again, this guy's got some this guy's a locker room killer. It is what it is. But he's 6 foot tall, weighs about 200 pounds, as you can see. He's got good. I think the size is there, the speed's there. Can he maintain his character issues? Because he has some character concerns. Because I think his talent's undeniable. Don't get me wrong, okay? But if he's gonna have to address those concerns before getting drafted. It is what it is. He's gonna or while he's going through the offseason. They're gonna have to address those concerns. What's up, Joseph? Zach Wilson traded to the Broncos. That's crazy. Yeah, that's not happening. Jeremiah Thrash. Jamari, I think it's Jamari Thrash. I think I pronounced his name wrong. I like this guy a lot. I think if you go watch his game film, he's a sleeper. Okay. 5'11", 185. Could use a protein shake. All right. Has been a consistent performer for Louisville, though. He had 63 receptions, 858 yards, 6 touchdowns past season. He's got good size to line up on the outside, but he's also versatile enough to play in the slot if need be. So I like him a lot. So those are my wide receivers. Let's get into the tight end position now. So these are guys that I think we should be targeting again, guys. And I'm giving you the rounds that I think we could be targeting these guys in. And you already know what picks we have. You know, the second round, you got our 33rd, the 39. We got 65 in the third. We got 101, 141, 142, and 204. All right. So 240. Sorry, not 204, 240. So again, and I'm telling you, 4th, 5th, 6th round, whatever. So just continue to tune in. Now, Jadavion Sanders, y'all know how I feel about this guy. Okay, talk about an impressive player, tier 1 tight end, great 45 receptions, 682 yards, 2 touchdowns. He even helped Texas have that huge win against Alabama. He's definitely a dangerous receiving weapon at the tight end. There's no doubt about that. Next up, we've got Mr. Theo Johnson, who I like as well. This guy might not have seen as many targets as he should have if he made the most of his opportunities, though. He recorded 341 yards, 7 touchdowns, just on 34 catches in 2023. He earned an invitation to the Senior Bowl, had a solid week. He's not a bad target at all, especially with the height at 6'6", 260 pounds, and runs a 4.5 40. Okay, runs a 4.57, whatever. But still, that's athletic as fuck. Okay. Ben, Mr. Ben Sanat. Okay, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. From Kansas State, just another solid pick, man. He's a top player who can contribute in this offense in both phases of the game. I think that, looking at his stats here, I mean, he had a quality week at the Senior Bowl too, so I would keep an eye on him. I mean, 6'4", 250, 4.6, 8. Speed could be a little bit better. Great blocker though. I do know that about him. But I mean, obviously, the guy can get open and catch some passes. All right. I mean, I'm hot. I like this guy out of Kansas State. Another one I think a lot of people are sleeping on is Cade Stover, because this guy transitioned from linebacker. If you didn't know, he transitioned from linebacker to the tight end position. So his football IQ is definitely up there. Okay. He's a solid receiving tight end. A lot of people are sleeping on him. They say that they don't think he's that good at receiving. Well, he didn't drop a pass last year. Okay. If y'all don't know who Cade Stover is, he didn't drop a pass last year. Okay. Now, again, this is a guy you got to watch out for. Okay. He's been a solid receiving tight end for the Buckeyes. Last year. Oh, and I'm really over the past 2 seasons. He could use some improvement in his blocking. So don't ask him to block right now. The guy's like Swiss cheese when it comes to blocking. But his receiving ability and the upside to develop is definitely there. Definitely there. Let's go to the next position. Jaheim Bell, a guy that out of South Carolina transferred to Florida State, physical player who's dangerous with the ball in his hands. He's got great quickness, route running, athletic, can get open. Definitely worth considering. He also had a rushing touchdown, so that also kind of proves to me that he's definitely versatile. All right. All right. A lot of people have him on his draft board for sure at number 2, but I see him as a 3rd or 4th round. I think Sanat's a 3rd or 4th round pick. Hold on, I'll be right back. Someone's at the door. Get in your cage. So I want to let you know. Just if he's whining, just go in there and tell him to hush at least and shut the door and see if that does it. If that doesn't work, then yes. We can talk about this later. All right. Sorry about that. Someone was at my door. What up, Turtle Man? Appreciate you joining the live stream. So yeah, Jaheim Bell, like him. All right, let's move on to my next guy here. These guys again, some of these guys like Jared Wiley, who I think is a sleeper. But AJ Barner, let's talk about him. 5th round pick. I think you get him in the 5th round, probably projected 6, I think, on here. No, projected 5th on here. Okay. I like AJ Barner, solid Y tight end prospect. Turned into a quality senior season. He's definitely a reliable option, I think. Let's go through Dallin Holker real quick. Another guy. I think he's got good height, showed receiving ability in college. Could use some work on getting stronger for the NFL, but he's definitely worth the look. Definitely has the hands for sure. And then Jared Wiley. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this guy with 6'6" height, 250, 4'6", 40. Had a quality season, as you can see. Even when he even went to the Senior Bowl where he held his own in practice. He's a big player who could be a great fit as that wide tight end at the pro level. So those are my prospects, at least from the tight end position. These are just guys that, with the prospects I'm going through, these are guys that I think that we could target. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the center position. Let's talk about some centers, man. Let's talk about some centers because we know that we need some centers, right? The positions of need. Jackson Powers Johnson. Now, again, this guy's projected first round, late first round. Okay. I could see the Steelers going after him. I could see Dallas getting him. A lot of my mock drafts, I see Dallas or the Steelers getting him most of the time. All right. This guy is a complete beast, though, when it comes to the center position. He stands at 6'3", 334 pounds. So no, I went through Theo Johnson. I went through Theo. I talked about Theo. Randall. JSU, what's the topic today? Today, the topic is we're breaking down prospects that we could target, what rounds we could get them at, and then we're going to talk about trade scenarios that we're going to talk about some trade scenarios that the Carolina Panthers could get for the picks. And then we started off today with the fact that the Falcons got caught tampering with Mr. Kirk Cousins. So, but right now we are talking about Mr. Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. So again, big time center prospect, guy's a beast. Again, 6'3", 334 pounds, ran a 4.40 of a 5.3. Expected to go late first round. Again, I can see him going to the Steelers or the Cowboys. Powerful run blocker, someone who can push through the defensive line, and can through defensive linemen and open up holes in the ground game for sure. He's also quick on the second level, packs a mean streak, laying some violent pancakes on some defenders. In pass protections, rock solid. He possesses the ability to definitely one-on-one block tackles. Now, a lot of team sources think that could be a Pro Bowl guard / center in the NFL. A lot of teams believe in this guy. No, you're good, Grandel. Tony, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining, man. Appreciate you being here. Okay, another guy let's talk about here. Move on to Zach Frazier. All right. We're breaking down every one of these guys. Zach Frazier, again, from West Virginia, 6'2", says he's 6'3". I saw where he was listed 6'2", but that might have changed. I don't know. 314 pounds. Projected run was a 4.2 or 5.2. Sorry, not 4.2. Good Lord. Could you imagine a center running a 4.2 sporty? But 5.2, especially to go second round, which we've seen that a lot, obviously, in the mock drafts, or could be a third round pick. I mean, he could fall for all I know, especially with these other positions of need. But Frazier, solid at West Virginia for sure. Tough, has enough size to be a potential starter in the NFL for sure. A lot of team sources that say that he's a day 2 pick. All right. Could be a starting guard or center. A guy that's not mentioned though in the center position, which I don't see him in here. So I'm going to go over to the guard position. Someone that could be a guard. Could play guard, but could play center. If I can find his ass, I have to go all line him. There he is. Graham Bartone, Mr. Duke, out of Duke. All right, 6'5", 313. As you can see, projected run was a 4.53, but it says he ran a 4.97 on this board. So expect to go first or second round. We shall see. Physical, nasty, smart, strong in the ground game. A lot of pro sources are saying that teams are projecting him to move to inside guard in the NFL, but can't play the center position. Okay. He missed some time playing through some injuries in 2023, but some sources think that Barton would be a fabulous center in the NFL. So there gives you a little versatility there where you can move this guy around. Now, if we're going back to the center position, let's get just strictly centers here. I do like this guy. I'm not very high on him, but Bogues Limmer out of Arkansas. I like him. 6'4", 302. As you can see here, 40-yard dash, 5'2". Projected to go third to fifth round in that range. Started at center for the Razorbacks. Was solid. Faces some athletic limitations though. Has the power, but the athleticism just doesn't seem to be there as normal. He needs to have better footwork and mobility, especially when it comes to the center position. He had a mixed week of practice at the Senior Bowl, so some good, some bad. But some sources say that he helped himself at the Senior Bowl. So, but others weren't so enthusiastic about him. So could play center at the next level. Just not too sure how good he's really going to be. Let's see here. Next up is Tanner Bortiolione. 6'4", 303. Ran a 4.940. Projected to go fourth to sixth round, I would say. Very versatile blocker for the Badgers past 3 seasons. Started at left guard, then moved to right guard, and then the center. And he even played 1 game at tight end. So the athleticism's there. I think he would be best fit. I think he's best fit as of right now, his projection to me, but could be a sleeper as a backup guard or center. And I've seen him in mock drafts where he falls in the 6th round every single time. But he had a great combine as well. And then last but not least, this guy has been going up on boards as of late. And they've got this guy now, Hunter Norzad out of Penn State, is now projected on the NFLDraftBuzz.com. 4th best center on their list. Okay. This guy's 6'3", 317 pounds. Projected, ran a 4.15. Is expected to go in the 5th or 7th round. I've seen him fall to the 6th and 7th round every single time. He started out his career playing right tackle at Cornell, then transferred to Penn State, if you didn't know, then played guard in 2022, then some center before the Nittany Lions said, you know what, you're going to be our starting center in 2023. Could be a backup guard, but center to start out his pro career, but could move up, which isn't a bad thing. He could sit behind Corbett, and then once Corbett just blows out his knee again, this guy might be ready to go. Sorry, I'm not trying to put that out in the air. I just don't think Corbett's ready, man. I don't trust that knee. I just don't. I don't trust his knee. All right, let's move on. Let's continue working forward here. Let's go to defensive tackles. All right. These guys are my top defensive tackles. Well, I guess I might have to do all D-line. Let's do this. Let's just do all defensive line. Where's my first guy at? Chris Jenkins. Y'all know where I'm going with this. 6'2", 299. Played a great season in Michigan. 37 tackles, 2.5 sacks, even an interception. He's known for his big sack numbers for the most part. He can consistently put pressure on the quarterback, plus his skills in the ground game, I think, make him a reliable, strong player. In fact, a lot of pro sources came out and said that they believe he could be a late first round, early second round pick. But of course, a lot of the mock drafts I've seen him in the second round. Fun fact, though, if you didn't know, Chris Jenkins is the actual son of former Carolina Panthers defensive tackle Chris Jenkins. So would be pretty cool to see him follow in his dad's footsteps. His mentor is Thomas Davis. Okay. Another guy who is dropping onto a lot of draft boards, obviously, because of the DWI issue. This guy is massive. 6'4", 366, a force to be reckoned with in the ground game. I wonder how much it takes for this guy to really get high for a DWI. But again, when you're 6'4", 366, I mean, it could be a lot. But again, the issue is now it's kind of showing with what happened with the DWI thing is that the pro sources have now come out and said that there's concerns about his work ethic and conditioning. So, I mean, again, I like this guy, though, because when you watch his tape, he's an absolute beast. He's a true nose tackle at heart. I think he's better at nose tackle than he is as considered as a defensive tackle. I think he would be a great piece on our team because I feel like we still don't have a true nose tackle, even though I believe O'Shawn Robinson looks like a true nose tackle, but he came out and said he's never played nose tackle in his life, which is surprising to me because of how big he is. But that's neither here nor there. And I definitely think we need to replace Shy Tuttle because I don't have any belief in him. Now, again, I've had sources come out and tell me that Shy Tuttle did not put his best out on the field last year and that his family got on his ass and told him that he needs to work harder because of a reliable source that I have. Because he's like family members with Shy Tuttle, like cousins. So, and that was someone I know. So that came out about that like a couple weeks ago. So I like T'Vondre Sweat. He wasn't he was amazing against Alabama and Oklahoma. Wasn't the most impressive in other games if you watch his game film, I will say. But at the Senior Bowl, he definitely showed off his size, his power, his quickness. He also looked really heavy. Off the field, he's apparently a good kid for the most part, except that DWI. I mean, I've heard good things about that he's a good kid. Just made a bad decision, and that's fine. He but the concerns is that he does have party issues. So obviously the DWI kind of transitioned into that. But it is what it is, man. You know, everybody likes to have a good time. I get it. I like to have a good time. Me too. So, you know, I'm not going to hate on him for wanting to have a good time. Braden Fisk from Florida State, 6'3". He's definitely 6'3". He's not 6'4", and he's actually 295 pounds. Okay. Before he transferred, he played at Western Michigan there. Fisk is known for his speed, quickness, getting after the quarterback, but he needs to work on getting stronger, more stout against the run. Overall, projected between the first and the third. This guy could kind of go anywhere. Ran a 4.7 40. He had a great combine, man. I mean, this guy had an excellent combine. I think he had the top combine out of defensive tackles. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's there, if he's still there at the 33 pick and 39 pick, though. Let's move on to another guy I want to talk about who's a defensive tackle prospect that I like. These are just guys. Again, these are just guys I think that we can target, man. I do have a couple sleepers, but I got to find the guy that I want to talk about that I think is not getting enough credit where credit is due. But I've got to find him. And I might have to. Oh, I think I found him. This guy, I think, is not getting a lot of credit where credit's due. Justin Igbagbe out of Alabama. I haven't talked about him much, but I recently watched his tape. He stands at his, obviously you see 6'4", 297 pounds, ran a 5.1 40, projected to be picked around the second or third round. I think on this draft board, they've got him lower than that. They've got him projected 6. When that's the case, fine by me. Okay, because I wouldn't be mad about it. But again, I like Justin. He showed some great stats, obviously, as you can see there. Has great power, which can be seen in his ground game if you watch it, although he lacks explosion. And feel as a rusher, he definitely does show some decent speed, and it isn't a bad athlete at all. I suggest that he could be a backup defensive end, but he also takes snap as a 3 technique. So I think he could help himself with a good week of practice wherever he goes and learn and develop. But he had a good week of practice at the senior week. I heard a lot of good things about him. So I just wanted to throw him out there because I don't think a lot of people are talking about this guy enough. Let's move on to my next cat here. Of course, a guy that I think we could target, and I've been able to get him in the 5th round, mainly at 141, 142 in my mock drafts, is Mason Smith out of LSU. Okay. Mason Smith out of LSU, I really like a lot. If I can find him. There he is. Again, big, tall, defensive tackle. Again, I think a guy that could transition to the nose tackle with a 6'5" height, 306 pounds, 540 basically, 5 flat 40 basically. A lot of people got him projected second to third round, but when I do mock drafts, I see him right there at that 141, 142 every single time, and on at least through the PFF one. Now, he was suspended week 1 of his college, this past college season, but still collected 2.5 sacks, 27 tackles, 9 solo tackles. Okay, though he did not look like the dynamic interior defender he was before. He might need some more post-injury recovery prior to returning back to his earlier form. Now, Smith flashed his old self, but was inconsistent. He should have returned for his junior year, in my opinion, to put a bigger season on. But as it would have been given him, I think a better shot at a first-round draft pick. But that's just me. Sometimes that's just how it works out with these guys. Dwayne Carter, again, out of Duke, stands at 6'2", 302, 4'9", 40. I project this guy around 3rd to 4th round. Okay. Carter is a solid run defender. As you can see, he had 41 tackles, 10 solo, 1 sack on the year. Did show a little bit more pass rush this year production than he did. Or actually showed more pass rush, I'm sorry, in 2022 than he did this year. Had 5.5 sacks. And he had a total of in 2021, 2022 season. I think he had a total of 7 forced fumbles. Could be a sleeper. Could be a nice value pick there around the 5th round. I'm going to say he's projected. Nope, they got a projected 4th. Okay. Last but not least, in the defensive tackle room, another guy that I like, and I think he's a huge sleeper. If I can find him. There he is. Jaden Cromartie. 2.5 sacks, 35 tackles, 10 solos, 6'4", 301, 497, 40. Okay. I project him to be a 3rd or 4th round pick. I think he's later than that. Yeah, they got him projected 7th. Okay. This is why I bring these guys in here. Okay. Some sleepers, man. We have to have sleepers. Okay. He recorded 35 tackles, as you can see, 10 solos, 2.5 sacks. But this guy's a true nose tackle. And I think he could earn his playing time at the pro level and be a tough interior run defender, which would fit us perfectly. What? Zach Wilson got traded to the Broncos. I saw that. You put it in the chat there. You put it in the chat. Yep, here it is. There it is, folks. Here, I'll share this tab instead. There it is. Jets starting QB gets Zach Wilson goes to the Broncos. Includes a late round pick swap, so 6 for a 7th. And the Jets will pay some of Wilson's contract, which is roughly around $5.5 million. All right. All right, let's get back to this. Hold on one second. All right, perfect. Sorry, I had to send a message to a coworker. What's up, Doug? Appreciate you joining, man. I was watching on Twitter. Nice. Come on over here. It's better. The water over here is better. The water's fine. All right, let's move on to the next guy I think we could target. Actually, the next group, I think I'm going to do defensive ends. All right. And I'll give you my projections on each and every one of them. Well, yeah, let's do defensive ends. Let's do defensive ends. Okay. Liatu Lietu, I do like a lot. I think he's a bit of a stretch, but I mean, I've heard some things. Again, Liatu Lietu, I know he's projected first round, mid first round. Does he get picked in the mid first round? I'm not too sure. But this guy's an absolute beast on the field. He's 6'5", 259 pounds. He's got some serious skills, man. 4'6", 40 projected. I think he's projected second. I think he's a second round pick. There's reasons behind that. Okay. He had an impressive season. stats are there, racked it up, right? He's known for his instincts, got great motor, his hands usage. That's what makes him such a dangerous defensive end. Okay. Practiced really well at the Senior Bowl, but the thing is, for me, unfortunately, he had to miss the final practice due to injury. So, is he injured? Now, again, I might be pushing it a little bit too far about the injury prone part. But again, he did an excellent workout at the NFL combine. There again, for me, there is just some medical concerns around him that could cause him to slide down in the draft. Okay. That's why I'm saying I wouldn't put it out. I'm not going to put it in the universe that he falls to the second round, but I wouldn't be surprised. But a hell of a fucking athlete. Another guy I like is Chop Robinson. All right. Penn State boy, a bit smaller than Liatu. 6'3", 254. Got a 40 time of a 4.48, projected one the second round in 2024. Is known for a good character, work ethic, which is obviously makes him an intriguing prospect because that's what seems to be where our GM and coach want, right? Again, recorded 15 tackles, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, as you can see. He played in only played in 7 games this past season, though. Due to a leg injury. And he still managed to impress scouts at the combine. All right, coming off that injury. Keith Randolph Jr. from Illinois. Chris, about him. Definitely showed some serious power. I think he just lacks some speed a little bit. I mean, that's my bet. I think he's a great. I think if it's the guy. Let me find him real quick since you're asking him. Pull his thing up real quick. Because I was looking at him the other day, too. Let me see where he's at. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Sometimes it's just easier to put his name in here. There he is. This is who you're talking about. Yeah. Obviously that he's got the mean mug for sure. This is what I'll say about Keith Randolph. I like him. The problem is that don't let that mug fool you. Okay. Because I will say this, Johnny Newton there got all the attention. Solid defender over the past few seasons. Could be a nice project. Has its potential to be more of a defensive end, I feel like. Especially in a base defense, or he can line up on the inside. But great power, just lacks in speed for me. I think he's a 5th or 7th round pick at best. That's just my opinion. I think he's a 5th or 7th round pick at best, Chris. James Allen with Panther, what's up? All right, let me get back to where I was at. I think I'm on defensive ends now, right? Yes, or I still was on defensive ends. And who's another defensive end I like? Darius Robinson. Okay, next. This guy's big, strong, 6'5", 285, as you can see. Slow on the 40 time for me a little bit. Projected round 1, round 2. I've seen some mock drafts. He's fell in the first round, but I've seen him most of the time in round 2 in mocks. Okay. Had a solid season in 2023 for sure. He has good height, great length, I think. weight, can play either defensive end or tackle at the pro level. I think in college he played on the inside before really moving to the outside edge as a senior. Um, and end looks like his best spot in the NFL, honestly, on the end. He played a great week of practice at the Senior Bowl, showing some serious power to shed blocks. However, some team sources feel that he lacks in speed and juice off the edge, which I totally agree with that. All right, especially when you run a 4.95, it definitely tells me your speed is not there. Might be the power is there for sure, but the speed's not. Um, Another guy I like for the defensive end position. Um, I hope I didn't pass by him yet. He can't be that far. Do they really have him all the way back here? There's no way. You're telling me where's all right, where you're telling me they don't have him where they got him. Thank you. Chris Broswell. Okay. I like this guy. Known for his serious strength, serious speed. I project him a second, third round pick. Can play some outside linebacker. I actually have him in my outside linebacker list as well. Um, he's a fast edge rusher with a lot of upside. And when he was with Will Anderson, and if he was with it, Will Anderson in the NFL, I think he could take on a big role. Not saying this guy's the next Will Anderson, but he could be. You never know with these type of guys, man, how they can pan out. So I like Chris Broswell as well. Now we're gonna get into some other guys, some later round picks. Um, some later round picks. Too. Adiza Isaac, again, I think this is a second, third round pick out of Penn State. Okay. Great size. Okay. 6'4", 250, basically, 4.7 40. I think second, third round. Although I think that, which I think looking at his stats, that obviously makes him a great pass rushing threat, in my opinion. Although I do think he does need to improve his pass rush, especially for the NFL. He has to have that potential to grow, right? Very raw, I would say. Another one, in the words of DJ Khaled, Marshawn Nealon. I like him a lot. Out of Western Michigan, 6'3", 275, 4.7 40. Projected to go. I think he's a third round pick. I think he's like right there at the third round. Okay. Had a great 2023 season. Needs to get stronger for the NFL. Could be a great backup design pass rusher. I like Nealon a lot. Another one, Brennan Jackson out of Washington State. I like this guy. Great prospect. I think with quality size, especially at 6'4", 264, 4.69 40. Okay. I think he's a fifth round pick at best. Honestly, I think he's a guy that he's a sleeper pick I shouldn't say fifth round pick at best, but I think he's a sleeper pick that you could get in the fifth round. But as a dangerous edge defender in 2023, I've even done mock drafts where he's fell in the fourth. Okay, we'll say that. Could be a great sleeper prospect, I think, in this draft. I think another guy that could be a sleeper pick, even though he's moving up on draft boards, I do think Austin Booker could be a sleeper. Okay, another guy that we could consider. I think a third, fifth round pick. I've seen him in the fourth round in some mock drafts. I think he needs to get stronger for the NFL. Could be a great backup. Could be a design pass rusher at anything. A huge All right. Perfect. I guess y'all didn't hear anything I just fucking said. Because I'm pretty sure I got muted. Oh, let me fix this. Yeah. For some reason, I got muted. All right, let me fix this. My bad. All right, so I was talking about Muhammad Kamara. Did y'all miss anybody else? Or was it just Muhammad? I think this guy's a sleeper. I'm just gonna keep going. If y'all missed anybody else that I was talking about, please let me know. Um, Jay Issue says, sure didn't. So Muhammad Kamara, I think is a guy we could get. I think he's projected 3rd to 5th round. I think he's more of a 5th round pick. I think he's an excellent pass rusher. I will say, I think he's a great pass rusher, but I will say he's a little undersized for the NFL. Could be a designated pass rusher for those sub package sets. All right. So my defensive ends again were Chris. I gave you all my defensive ends. Now let's move out to the outside linebackers that the Panthers could target. So we're looking at it from this standpoint. Let's see here. Let's go with linebackers. Okay. So these guys. Whoa. That was 2024 linebacker. Let's move on to the linebacker position. All right. So we're gonna go with outside linebackers, okay? Since we just finished up defensive end, I'm gonna talk about outside linebackers. Again, I think Chop Robinson, I think Chris Braswell, those all guys can fit the outside linebacker mold as well. So I'm gonna skip over them. I think Muhammad Kamara can fit that mold as well. But my top outside linebackers, like if I'm going for strictly just an out, like I would say strictly, like I think my top outside linebackers are definitely, I mean, obviously Dallas Turner's up there. But we're talking about guys that are outside linebackers. We're talking about Chris Broswell. We're talking about Chop Robinson. A guy that I haven't talked about in the outside is Trevin Wallace. I think he could be is a great outside linebacker prospect. I'm not going to harp too much on Chop and Chris because I feel like I just talked about them off the edge. It's not going to make a difference. Okay, they definitely can showcase their skills on the outside as well, just as much as they are edge rushers. Now, I will say Trevor Wallace out of Kentucky, I do like. Okay, I project him to be a 3rd round pick. Okay, had a great season there. He's known for his size and speed and athleticism, a lot of upside to develop further in the NFL. So I do like him a lot. And then of course I said Muhammad Kamara, but again, he's a little different. Okay. Now, if we're talking about another outside linebacker, I do like if I can find him real quick. Nathaniel Watson, I think, is a guy a lot of people are sleeping on, man. 6'2", 233. He had 10 sacks last year, 2 forced fumbles, had a total of 137 sacks, and solo 35. Okay. 4'6", 40. Again, a guy who I think is projected to go into the 4th, 6th round pick. I've seen him be there in the 6th round. I've even seen him in the 7th, which they've got him projected on NFL Draft Plus, the 7th round. I think he's an absolute machine. Great tackler. Doesn't miss a lot of tackles, that's for sure. Has the potential, I think, to be for run defense / pass rush. He had a solid week at the Senior Bowl. I think that this guy could definitely, you need to keep an eye out on. Could be a little bit of a sleeper in a later round. All right, especially for the outside linebacker position. But If I'm saying outside linebacker position, put Chop Robinson up there. That's number 1 for me. Chris Boswell at 2. I would say Trevor Wallace 3. Muhammad Kamara 4. And I would probably put Nathaniel Watson at 5. All right. Those are my top 5, at least for me. Let's get into the actual linebacker core, though. Let's talk about those interior linebackers, okay? The guys that are in the inside. Let's start with Peyton Wilson, okay? Not my number 1. He had a huge senior season. Athletic as shit, right? Ran a 4.3, 4.43, okay? Great size for the NFL, even though I think he's going to need some time to develop his physicality, okay? And another thing is, he's had shoulder surgery and he's had an ACL tear. Okay. I think he's definitely could be a potential starter, but there are some concerns for me when it comes to his medical. Okay. When it comes to Peyton Wilson's medical. All right, let's get to the next one here. Um, oh shit, we're echoing here, my friends. Hey Nell, what's up, man? Came in late. Did you hear about the Zach Wilson being traded to the Broncos from the Jets? How do you think this will affect the Broncos or the draft as a whole? I mean, I actually had them as a potential trade target because, they've got the 12th pick. They traded away their 2024 second rounder, right? Which they could have used to move up for a quarterback. And if they're desperate enough, they might be willing to part ways with a 2025 rounder to grab a quarterback in this year's draft in exchange for a 33rd pick. But our 33rd pick, I still think there could be some interest there. The Panthers could receive a 2025 first rounder from them. I mean, that's what I was thinking. But again, they got Zach Wilson. I mean, is Zach Wilson gonna start over? Here's the question I have to ask you, and now, do you believe that Zach Wilson would start over Michael Penix or Bo Nix if they went out and still was able to get them in the second round? Do you think that Zach Wilson starts over Bo Nix or Michael Penix? I don't know. I think that's a question we have to ask. Yeah, so that's the thing. I think now they still go out and I could see them trading still to go get Bo Nix or Michael Penix because they're not going to get JJ. They're not going to get Jaden Daniels. They're not going to get Drake May. They're not going to get Caleb Williams. We all know that. They're not getting any of those guys. They have a chance to probably get they have a chance to probably get Bo Nix or Michael Penix, but I just don't see Zach Wilson starting over either one of them. I think they're better prospects than Zach Wilson. If they're still willing to trade with us for 33, they could be. Again, I think if Bo Nix and Michael Penix are there, there's definitely going to be a calling. Someone's going to be calling. I still truly believe that. I think the Raiders are one of them. I think the Raiders, they have the 13th overall pick. They're in a tough spot because they need a clear starting quarterback. They could try to wait it out, hope that a good quarterback falls to them in the second round. But they might be better off trading up and grabbing one of those bigger prospects, though. But if let's say Penix or Bo Nix is there and Vegas goes a different route at their 13th overall pick, I wouldn't be surprised if they exchange the 33rd pick or try to Because I could see them offering us their 44 and 77, which I've been mocking up pretty much as of late. But I wouldn't be surprised. That's another team. All right, let's get into the inside linebackers. Another one. My favorite linebacker in this draft is Edgerrin Cooper. I think a lot of people, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 83 tackles, 39 solo tackles. I mean, this guy's a beast, especially when it comes to the ground game. Explosive speed, great athleticism. He's definitely a contender for a high draft pick. I think I've seen a lot of projections where he's going second, third round. Okay. I still think he's probably a third round pick. Let's see what they got him projected as. Second mid. So he's moved up. He might not be as natural in coverage, but he could definitely make an impact on our defense, I think. Another guy another guy we need to watch out for out of North Carolina, Cedric Gray. I like Gray a lot. You got to watch out for this kid. He's got good instincts, great football character. Doesn't miss a lot of tackles. Guy does not miss a lot of tackles, as you can see. Okay. 121 tackles, 64 solo. Doesn't miss a lot of tackles, right? 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Still, with his size and length, I think he could definitely be a valuable addition to this defense. Now, another guy that no one's really talking about, that's an inside linebacker. That is a true sleeper. And I'll get back to some of these other guys I'm skipping over here. Tyrese Knight out of UTEP. 84 solo tackles, 140 tackles, 4 to 5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. This guy's a mid-round sleeper, man. I think he's projected 7th round. I'm probably on here, but I could see him if someone taking him in the mid-round. I mean, he's got so much potential, especially after a great senior season like that. I think that's someone we should definitely keep an eye on, especially as a sleeper, man. I like this guy a lot as a sleeper. Wow. We'll see if that turns out to be correct. Hey, now we'll see if that turns out to correct. But again, sleeper pick here, guys. Tyrese Knight out of UTEP. I'm telling you right now, this guy is a major sleeper. I like him a lot, but I think he's a major sleeper. So don't be surprised if he comes falling. All right. Don't be surprised. That is way too long. Perfect. That's better. That's so much better right there. All right, I just had to edit that real quick. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got some more inside linebackers to go over. Let's get some more inside linebackers here. Nathaniel Watson's another inside linebacker too, guys. He can definitely be someone who can help in that run defense, pass rush, though. But again, he's a great outside linebacker, I will say. Next guy that I want to talk about here, great inside linebacker that I don't think gets a lot of talk about, and that is Jeremiah Trotter. I think he had a great season at Clemson. I can't believe I'm talking so nicely about a Clemson player because I'm not a big Clemson fan. Y'all know that. I will say this. Some team sources have expressed concerns at his ability to translate to his skills to the NFL due to some athletic limitations. He could struggle with pass coverage in the big leagues, which might relegate him to a backup middle linebacker position. With that being said, though, he has a lot of potential, and he's a great football pedigree, got great IQ. His father, Jeremiah Trotter Sr., was a 4-time Pro Bowler who played 12 seasons in the NFL. Again, I think he's going to fall back. But and even though he's projected third round, I could see this guy falling back to the fifth. And you can take him as a value pick. That's just me, but it is what it is. All right, let's go to defensive backs. Let's get into the corner position. I've gone through every position group of need, and that's all we're doing. We're going through every position group of need for the Carolina Panthers, and that's what we've done so far today. And we're going through prospects that we could target, and I'm giving you what rounds I could see us trying to take them. All right. I think Kool-Aid McKinstry could be a bit of a reach. Again, could be a bit of a reach, maybe, but I like this guy a lot, especially with the name Kool-Aid. I want him on my team because I would buy a Panthers jersey and put Kool-Aid on the back of it for sure. All right. This guy's got some serious size, speed. He's not the most versatile player out there, I will say, though, but he's more of a press man corner. Struggles in different coverages. Again, there are some on-field issues, off-the-field issues. He's got bad work ethic, and can be a bit lazy at practice, which might affect his draft stock. But he still has some serious upside potential. All right. Let's go to Mr. Enos Rakestraw, another corner we could target. Again, I think he's a second round pick, well-rounded player, not exceptional really in one area. Some people have projected him in the first round, but I think a lot of team sources believe he's going to be a second round pick in the draft, and so do I. Played all 13 games last year, put up some impressive numbers, so definitely one to watch. Nothing crazy about this kid, man, honestly. There's nothing that just jumps out at me that's just like, man, that guy, I want him on my team, right? Kamari Lassiter out of Georgia, I do like a lot. Another top prospect, had a great season, smothered receivers, preventing separation. However, he's not the biggest corner out there, right? 6 foot, 186. His 40 time was a little slow at his pro and his pro day was pretty slow. But that could hurt his chances of a first round pick, which I don't think he is. I think he's projected at the second round, maybe third round. All right. But I think he's a solid player and he's got good instincts to the ball. So I will give him that. Another guy I like is that I don't talk about a lot is Max Melton out of Rutgers. Okay. Bit of an underdog, has got some serious potential. Excellent showing at the NFL Combine. Has been praised of his speed, athleticism. Definitely someone to keep an eye on, especially if he continues to develop. I do think Max Melton slept on a little bit. All right. Cam Hart out of Notre Dame is the next guy I'm looking for here. Where are you at, Mr. Hart? There he is. He's a big time cornerback with some serious skills. Could use some work on his tackling. He played well as a senior. Did very well against actually Marvin Harrison. If you need to go watch his game film, you need to go watch it against Marvin Harrison Jr. He did pretty well. He held his own against him. He's not the fastest player out there, just consistent. I mean, he could definitely become a pro starter with the right coaching. I will say that. All right. So Cam Hart, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, we got Smith Wade. Let me find him real quick. Smith, where are you at, Mr. Smith Wade? Are you back in the front page? Did you move up on there? Their draft board's a lot different than others. Maybe they moved him back here. I still like him. I don't know how to pronounce his first name. I don't know if it's like Chow or Chayu or Shay, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I'm botching the shit out of it right now. So I'm just going to call him CSW maybe, or just call him Smith Wade, whatever. But watch this game film. Great coverage ability. I will say that some evaluators are worried about his size that has pushed him out of the first 2 rounds of the draft. Nevertheless, I think this guy's a great value pick. Okay. If you get him in that 4 to 6 range, you got a great value pick. I think he's projected 6. So again, great value right there. All right. He showed off his skills in the Senior Bowl. Finished the week with 2 interceptions in the actual game. He had 2 interceptions in the actual Senior Bowl game. Been slept on a little bit, I think. A little bit slept on. All right. Next guy I want to talk about here, if I can find him. He might be on this side. Is he over here? No. There he is. Chris Abrams-Drain. I like this guy a lot. Great prospect out of Missouri. Projected probably 2nd or 3rd round. I think they've got him. I think he's a 2nd or 3rd round pick, but they probably got him projected. Okay, they got him 3rd. Okay, cool. He could have been a mid-round pick, honestly. But he decided to return to Missouri back in the 20. He could have been a mid-round pick in the 2023 NFL draft, but he decided to return to Missouri, and obviously had a great season. And I think he's likely to be a nickel corner candidate. So, but I do like what he brings to the table as a player. But a lot of people are saying he's better off in the nickel position. So. Let's go back to some of the other high prospects. Mike St. Ristel. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I'm not sure. Another one to watch out for. 5'9", 182. Projected to be 2nd or 3rd. I mean, PFF has him projected in the 2nd round. I think here they've got it for him probably the same. Late 2nd, okay? I think he's a 3rd or 4th round pick. I'm just saying. I think he's a 3rd or 4th round pick. Another guy that's just really a nickel corner to me, okay? But he did play a crucial role, I will say, that helped Michigan win a national title, okay? He does have great instincts. I'll give him that. He's willing to tackle, that's for sure. I think it makes him a good fit as a slot corner in the NFL. My favorite corner in this draft, though, is TJ Tampa. Like, if we're talking about where the Panthers, if we're talking about if we took a corner in the 2nd round, TJ Tampa's right there, okay? I think he's a big-time corner, 6'1", 189, projected, ran a 4.4 or 4.45. That some people got him projected 3rd or 4th round. I think he's a 2nd round pick for sure. Like solid 2nd round pick, for sure. I think the only thing is that he's going to need to show that he can keep up with the faster wide receivers in the NFL. That's the only downside I will say about him. D-Cash, he's on my list. Don't worry, I'm not done with the cornerback positions yet. Because my cornerback positions are lengthy, okay? So, yes, Kalen Carson's on my list, okay? Out of Wake Forest, a tough, gritty corner, had a solid 2023 season. Struggled. His biggest struggle was his matchup against Keon Coleman, which knocked his grading down to a mid-round a bit. That's a lot of what people are saying. Got a good size, though, I will say, but lacks in speed a little bit, which is a bit of concern for scouts. I don't think that 4.48 is really lacking of speed because that's what the scouts are saying. I think a 4.48 ain't that bad, but I definitely would like to see like more like just a 4.4 flat or 4.39, 4.38 out of my corners, me personally. But you get shit in one hand and piss in the other. Let's go to Kyrie Jackson. Why not? Right? Let's go to Mr. Kyrie Jackson. We talked about him. Big time corner, 6'3", 203. He's actually 6'3", 203. They don't have the right measurements. Ran a 4.5 40. I think he's projected 3rd to 5th round. He's a competitive defender. Again, but this guy is a character issues again. A lot of team sources are coming out saying this guy's got character issues. And that has caused him to get that's what caused him to get kicked out of Alabama, and then that's why he transferred to Oregon. But the guy's got a great skill set. So again, hopefully those character issues have passed and that he can move forward, right? All right. Let's keep moving here. Elijah Jones, Boston College, 6'1", 185, projected 4.4 40 time, picked in the 4th, the 6th, tall cornerback, great length, especially to defend on the outside. He had I think he had 5 interceptions and 9 passes broken up in the 2023 season. I don't think that the 2 interceptions they have is correct. I saw that he had 5 interceptions. Now in the 2022 season, he had 2 interceptions and 13 passes defended. I think they've got the 2022 stats up right now, but I could be wrong. I thought he had 5 interceptions last year. All right, let's get to my biggest sleeper of them all in the cornerback room. My biggest sleeper of them all is Dwight McGlothern out of Arkansas. He's tall, but a skinny cornerback. Definitely needs to put on some strength, put on some size. Definitely needs to drink a protein shake or 2, okay? Before he gets into the NFL. He's NFL ready, I think, because he's got serious ball skills, okay? All right? He's great in man press. He's great on the outside. He's great in man and zone coverages. I still think that his length and ball skills makes him an interesting developmental prospect for any NFL team, even the Panthers. D-Cash says dog. All right, so I went through everyone. I went through running backs. I went through wide receivers. I went through tight ends. I went through centers. I went through linebackers, edge rushers, defensive tackles, corners, everything that this team needs. I went through every prospect. If you're just tuning in, you will be able to go back and watch it. So let's move on to the next thing here. Let's move on to the next thing and what are the trade scenarios for the Carolina Panthers? So I'm going to use PFF really quick. I'm going to use their draft simulator. I got to sign in. All right. You didn't go to QBs? I'm not going to go. I only went through, Chris, so I only went through the position of need. But, I mean, if you want me to go through quarterbacks, I can go through quarterbacks. But I was just going through a position of need for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, of course, there might be some people in here that think that that's a need, but it ain't happening in this draft, so. Exactly. All right, so the reason why I want to use this real quick is I want to show you some trade scenarios that I like. Okay? So once we get to our pick, I want to review some trade scenarios that I like for the Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to break each and every one of these down real quick. All right. We know the position of needs are. I'm not going to go through. We're not going to go through all that. I'm going to. Here's one. Okay. Not the Los Angeles Chargers. Who do I need? Let's do Vegas first. All right, I think this is a potential trade here, right here. Okay, I was just talking about this. The reason why I see this to be a potential trade is because you think about it this way. The Las Vegas Raiders need a quarterback. They're not going to rely on Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew to lead them to the playoffs or help their team, especially in that aspect of things. And they're definitely taking a tackle. They're going to build their offensive line just like they did in this. I'm pretty sure they went tackle here. Yeah, they went and got a left tackle, Troy Fanatu. See, in this mock draft, they even went out and got Troy. So I think the Raiders are going to be calling. I could be a team that could be calling us, and this is like a trade right here. I think we could take because again, they're not going to rely on Aiden O'Connell and they're not going to rely on Aiden O'Connell and what's his name, Gardner Minshew. They're just not going to rely on those guys every single time. All right, or at least for this year. They have to be looking into the future, in my opinion. Okay? So if they're looking into the future, okay, I think we have to be looking at the fact that they are definitely going to be looking at Mr. Michael Penix. Okay? They're definitely going to be trying to get this guy. Okay? So I think that could be a trade right there. If we went to the Vegas Raiders and gave them 33, 44, and 77, you still have 2 second-round picks, and you end up with 2 third-round picks on top of that. Okay. Another one is the New York Giants. Again, business partners we've already made up with. I think 47. Okay, 47 and 70 in exchange for 33 is not out the cards. Okay, they have the 6 overall pick. They already have Daniel Jones, but he hasn't exactly been a star quarterback for them. Okay, plus they're in danger of getting jumped by Minnesota, who have the 11th and 33rd pick. Okay, you could try and trade up for a quarterback. So the Panthers and the Giants have done business before. So it wouldn't be surprising to see them make a deal to me if the Giants offered 47 and 70 in exchange for the 33rd pick. All right, next trade. Los Angeles Rams. Now, this could be a trade that we could get. And I think if for the 33rd and the right price, you get a 52, the 83, and a third-round pick. Why is that? Okay, 2025 third round. The reason why I say them is because this is a team you need to keep an eye on. They have the 19th pick overall, but they also have a 36-year-old Matthew Stafford at quarterback. It might be time for them to start thinking about somebody who can back him up and learn from for the future. Because especially since this quarterback class next year isn't looking too strong. And the Panthers could drop to the 50s in exchange for 52-83 and a future third-round pick. And then last but not least, again, I still think Denver could be in it, even though, let's see, where's Denver at? Well, Denver doesn't have one, so, oh. What was, the Denver trade that I was talking about. All right, I got to go find them. There's Denver. So, for example, with Denver, I can see this being a trade right here. I can see this being a trade right here because they have the 12th overall pick. But again, they traded away their second round pick this year, which could have been used to move for a quarterback. But again, they're desperate enough. I think they might be willing to part ways with that 2025 first rounder to grab a quarterback in this year's draft in exchange for that 33rd pick. And then you have two first round picks for next year. And the Denver Broncos aren't going to be very good next year, in my opinion. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to be very good. So guess what that first round pick turns into? A very, very high draft pick. And I don't think we're going to, again, I say our ceiling 6 wins and our floor is 3. We could have a top 10, a top 15, maybe even 2 top 10 draft picks if we did this trade. That's the way I'm looking at it. So those are just some trade scenarios I think that we could do. So there's a lot to break down when it comes to this upcoming draft this year, man. There's so many hypotheticals, who we should go after, who we should target. So again, that's my full breakdown of prospects, picks, trade scenarios before the draft that I could see. And all the draft prospects that I talked about today, those are the guys that I could see as targeting, who I'd like to see as target. I gave you what rounds we could see them in. So today I'm not going to do a mock draft. I'm going to do a mock draft on my own, post it up later on today. Just because it is 4:00. I've been live for over 2 hours and I was breaking a lot down and my stomach is growling. So, and I've got to get ready to go to the gym here in less than an hour. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, join the Discord. I gave you a full breakdown, a pre-draft breakdown. I felt like I gave you a lot of insight, at least from what I think we could do, what I like to see that we could do. So I appreciate everyone joining the live stream today. Make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Become a member today as well. Lots of good things coming down in the background. So I appreciate everyone joining. Keep pounding. I'm hopping off, man. We'll have to do it another day. But I appreciate everyone joining a live stream again. Make sure you pound the like button, become a member today, join the Discord. And of course, as always, guys, y'all know what to do. Keep pounding. I'm out of here. Peace.